Very good morning, all of you. This is Dr. Bashir Muhammad. I have been allotted compiler design subject for you people to handle. So, for the entire compiler design will be handled by myself. So, today we are going to start the compiler design subject. Starting from first unit, compiler design. In today's class we are going to see introduction about compiler design and what is the structure of compiler, what are the phases of compiler, and what are the major data structures in compiler. So these are the four topics we are going to discuss in today's class. Compiler. What is compiler? Compiler is a software which converts a program written in high level language to low level language. The high level language is called source language. The low level language is called object language or target language or machine language. If you take C program, if you take C compiler, the C compiler is used to compile the C program. In this case, the C program is called source language, which is high level language, and after compilation we will be getting a language that is called object language, which is referred as low level language. Types of compiler. We have two types of compilers. One is cross compiler and another one is source to source compiler. What is cross compiler? Cross compiler is a software which runs on a machine A and produces a code, that is the low level language code, for another machine B. So cross compiler is a software which runs on machine 1 A and produces the low level language code for another machine B. So this is called cross compiler. This cross compiler is capable of creating the low level language code for a platform other than the one on which the compiler is running. That means this cross compiler is a platform independent one. What is the meaning of platform independent? Platform is nothing but our operating system. So the cross compiler, the code, one machine can be run in one operating system like Windows. Another system can be run in another operating system like MS-DOS. So here the machine 1 is used with one operating system, Windows. Machine 2 is used with another operating system, MS-DOS. So in this case the cross compiler is used to convert, produces the code for another machine which is run in MS-DOS. So in the cross compiler, takes the machine A which is in Windows operating system and produces the code for another machine B which is in MS-DOS. So this is called cross compiler. Coming to source compiler, it can also be referred as transcompiler or transpiler. So it is a compiler that translates source code written in one programming language into source code of another programming language. For example, the C, the programming, one programming language can be C, another programming language can be Java. So this compiler translates the source code of C into the source code of another programming language called Java. So this is called source to source compiler. Language processing system. If we take a language C, C++ or Java, whatever it is, language, how the language is processed. This is called language processing system. So we have initially high level language, then that high level language is fed to preprocessor, then pure high level language will come. So that pure high level language will be given as an input to the compiler. The compiler after finishing the compilation process, the relocatable machine code is generated, that is given to the input of the loader and linker, and finally the loader and linker will give the absolute machine code. In between that, assembler is there. Assembler converts the assembly language to machine level language. So this is how the language processing system goes. High level language. If a program contains directives such as hash include or hash define, it is called high level language. We have hash include in C and C++. Hash define also we have in C and C++. Hash include is called directive and hash define is called macro. So these directives are closer to humans but far from machines. These hash tags are called preprocessor directives. They direct the preprocessor about what to do. So these hash tags direct the preprocessor what should be done. Preprocessor. The preprocessor removes all the hash include directives by including the files called file inclusion and all the hash define directives using macro expansion. So what the preprocessor does, it removes all the hash include directives with the corresponding files. And with hash define, the hash define directives are removed using macro expansion. This preprocessor performs file inclusion, augmentation and macro processing. Assembly language. It is neither in binary form nor in high level form. It will be in a intermediate form. Assembly language is, if you take, this is for a microprocessor language. If you take, there is a microprocessor called 8088. For that microprocessor, there will be a corresponding assembly language. It is an intermediate state, that is a combination of machine instructions and some other useful data needed for execution. So combination of machine instructions and the data needed for the execution gives the assembly language. Very good morning all of you. This is Dr. Bashir Muhammad. I have been allotted compiler design subject for you people to handle. So for the entire compiler design will be handled by myself. So today we are going to start interpreter. An interpreter converts high level language into low level language. That's what we have seen before. So like a compiler, just like a compiler. Interpreter is also used to convert the high level language to low level machine language, but they are different in the way they read the input. The compiler in one go reads the input, does the processing and executes the source code, whereas the interpreter does the same line by line. The compiler takes all the inputs, reads all the inputs in one go, but in the interpreter does the same line by line. The compiler scans the entire program and translates it as a whole into machine code, whereas an interpreter translates the program one statement at a time. So at a particular point of time, only one statement from the program is executed by the interpreter, but compiler takes the whole program and executes it. The interpreted programs are usually slower with respect to compiled ones. Relocatable machine code. It can be loaded at any point and can be run. The address within the program will be in such a way that it will cooperate for the program movement. Loader and linker. It converts the relocatable code into absolute machine code and tries to run the program, resulting in a running program or an error message. So what will happen here? It will convert the machine code, or it will produce the error message, or sometimes both can happen. Linker loads a variety of object files into a single file to make it executable. Then loader loads it in memory and executes it. This is what happened in the loader and linker. Now next topic is phases of a compiler. What are the phases happening in a compiler? There are two major phases of compilation, which in turn have many parts. Each of them take input from the output of the previous level and work in a coordinated way. The two major phases of compilation are analysis phase and synthesis phase. See, this is the diagram for phases of compiler. Lexical analyzer is there in the middle, syntax analyzer next, semantic analyzer next, next intermediate code generator, then code optimizer, then target code generation. See this, the output of the previous stage is given as the input to the next state. So lexical analyzer takes the input as high level language. The output of the lexical analyzer is given to syntax analyzer. The syntax analyzer's output will be given to the semantic analyzer. The output of the semantic analyzer will be given to intermediate code generator. The code optimizer takes the input from the intermediate code generator's output. Then the target code generation takes the input from code optimizer, and finally assembly code or the machine readable code is generated. In the left hand side we have symbol table that is connected to all the phases. The symbol table is having the data structures which are needed for the compiler. And in the right hand side which we have error handling mechanism which is also connected to all the phases of the compiler. If there is an error, that error is handled by the error handling mechanism. And first phase, major first phase, analysis phase. An intermediate representation is created from the given source code in the analysis phase. In analysis phase, we have four phases. They are lexical analyzer, syntax analyzer, semantic analyzer, and intermediate code generator. Lexical analyzer, the first phase, the lexical analyzer divides the program into tokens. Then these tokens are given as input to the syntax analyzer. The syntax analyzer recognizes sentences in the program using the syntax of the language. If you take C program, what is the syntax of a sentence? So that is recognized by the syntax analyzer, and the output of the syntax analyzer is given to the input of semantic analyzer. The semantic analyzer checks static semantics of each construct, and the output of the semantic analyzer is given as input to the intermediate code generator. The intermediate code generator generates abstract code, and this output will be given to the next phase, synthesis phase. So this is the second major phase. Equivalent target program is created from the intermediate representation, that is from the previous phase. This synthesis phase has two parts. One is code optimizer and another one is code generator. The code optimizer optimizes the abstract code which is generated by the intermediate code representer, and the output of the code optimizer is given as input to the code generator. The code generator translates abstract intermediate code into specific machine instructions, which is the machine readable form instructions. So in each phase a separate job is done. We have two major phases. Under two major phases we have some sub phases. So with this, today's class is completed. The remaining you will see in the next class. Thank you.